Hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Unwatchables.
Today we are talking about Marvel's newest movie, Black Widow. So this is like our first step into the movie part of Phase 4. We've had our nice little side steps into the TV shows, and that was fun. But now we're back on track with the main attraction, which is the movies.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this video. Let's get started.
There's going to be a very even distribution of negativity and positivity in this video. But we'll start out with the things we like.
Alright, so I think it would be the best idea to begin where most movies begin, at the beginning. I think the first 15 minutes of this movie legitimately set a tone that it did not follow up for the rest of the movie, and I'm saying that liking the movie, because the first 15 or so minutes up until the end of the start credits or whatever you call that was so good.
So good.
I don't know what happened to that part. Why did they have to get rid of it? The way they set up the whole family thing without really telling you what was happening, and he was doing shifty things, and then they gave them away, and then they had that whole montage of the training. It was super cool and dark and mysterious, and they didn't hold that tone, sadly, but I still liked the rest of the movie. And then another thing that I really liked was the whole dynamic they had with their family that was sort of introduced in the beginning, but then I guess got totally changed by the fact that the whole thing was fake and a lie to trick them into thinking they were doing nice things and not being evil evil pawns. But yeah, the family dynamic that they had throughout the rest of the movie was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that Yelena kind of tied that entire thing together. I think she consistently had the best lines and the best moments, and she was the annoying younger sister. And I just thought that her dynamic with basically everyone was great.
Yeah, Yelena was easily the best character and part of this movie. She was really funny, but not in you're up against the big bad guy, the nemesis of your life, and you're your mom or whatever.
Yeah, that posing scene where Florence Pugh did the pose and then just that was the few laugh out loud moments I've actually had with a Marvel movie ever. I thought that was just so good. I actually really appreciate that they don't have David Harbour get absolutely destroyed. He is actually really strong. I was expecting him to be this weak Captain America discount, but he's got some power. I mean, he's jumping up walls, and I was oh, okay. He's kind of a big deal.
But that scene was hilarious, him yelling at them, and then the scene right after where they're walking, and he's I have one question. Has Captain America ever said anything about... My Russian accent is so bad.
Accents have never been my thing. Except Goofy. Hey Connor, do you want to hear my Goofy accent?
I could have survived without that. The villain of this movie isn't the greatest, but you all out despised him. Well, I thought he was pretty interesting. He was kind of a weak villain in some ways, but I enjoyed the way they built him up the whole time. And then you finally got to him, and he's this creepy all power. I guess it's a little bit cliche, kind of, but I don't know. I liked it.
I don't think he's a flat out terrible villain. I just think he's very weak, which makes Taskmaster such a weaker villain. Because in order to appreciate Taskmaster in any way, you have to appreciate this bigger villain.
But, I mean, I guess Taskmaster might have been kind of interesting if the villain was a much stronger villain. Who Taskmaster was could have been interesting if she just had one scene where she spoke. But no, instead this guy was just yeah, you killed my daughter. I have to put chip in her. And now she evil robot that copy movements, even though she barely copy movements. So you just was he even Russian? I can't remember. You just end up with this stupid faceless character who we don't even care about his daughter. Why would we care about that? It makes no sense for us to even be bothered.
Also, how the heck did she survive that explosion? I mean, she's like a 10-year-old girl. She's in the middle of this explosion, and she comes out with just a little burn on her face. All of her skin should be gone, and not only that, she should be dead.
It sort of plays into one of like my biggest problems with these movies, this movie, which is like that. I don't know. It's that they just chose the wrong plot. Like, why not make it about Budapest and all that? Why make it about this weird story of them like going to take him down a second time for like apparently no reason? They just randomly meet up and are like, let's go murder this dude.
They keep talking about Budapest with Hawkeye, and they keep talking about how, like, Budapest was crazy. We did all this cool stuff in Budapest. And I'm like, why can't we see this movie? That sounds so cool. You were blowing up buildings. You were stuck in, you were trapped in this building for days. You had to hide in this little hidey hole for days. You played tic-tac-toe for days. I want to see this movie. That sounds cool. But instead, we just get this stupid antidote plot. Because at the end, and I'm just going to kind of trash the end right now, like the ending scene, it was so sudden. Like the government guys were coming in, the Black Widowers are going off in the helicopter, and Yelena was like, hey, Natasha, you want to come with us? And then Natasha's like, nah, I gotta go be in Infinity War, catch you later, bitches, you know? And that just ends.
It's like all of a sudden, she's about to face all these government guys. And then it fades out, and they're like, shoot, how did she get to Infinity War? So then they fade back in on her with a new haircut, wearing her snazzy vest with lots of pockets, which she can put lots of things in. And this random British dude that was in the movie for basically no reason, just so they could explain why they had helicopters.
Yep.
Had a Quinjet? Where did he get a Quinjet from? The government doesn't just let those be laying around.
The extra ending, the end credit scene, I thought it started out very nice. I was like, okay, this is kind of sweet, where Yelena is visiting Tasha's grave. But then this lady comes up, and she's like, hey, want to kill the guy who kills your sister? And she's like, yeah, that sounds cool. I'm like, come on, I was enjoying this moment. Why do you have to just come in here and ruin everything? I don't think they needed this lady to come up and explain to her, hey, I'd like to talk to you about the extended Florence Pugh contract initiative with Marvel. You know, they have to be that on the nose about it. Hey, would you like to come and be in a Disney Plus TV show?
But I am very, very happy that she's coming back, because I liked her character a lot, and the actress was really good.
Yeah.
So I'm glad she didn't just, like, make it through one movie and then gone forever.
Yeah, I did kind of like how when David Harbour was, like, confessing his feelings in his jail cell when he thought it was Natasha, but it wasn't Natasha. I thought that was funny. It was like,
and it was even funnier because it kept happening, because then he tried to do it in the earpiece, and she's like, you don't have an earpiece.
All the bad Marvel tendencies have seeped into this movie, but then a lot of the good things, a lot of the times when Marvel is more grounded, that's also here. But also, I know you're going to disagree with this a lot, but I thought that the fight scenes in this movie were incredibly dull. I thought there were 2 fight scenes and a few moments that I did like. I thought that the Florence Pugh versus Natasha fight scene in the building was pretty cool, because they were copying each other and stuff. And then I really liked the prison escape. I thought all of that was pretty cool. But then all the other fight scenes, mainly, especially the ones with Taskmaster, who was hyped up as like this absolute killer. Like he would have all these sick moves, and the fight scenes would be really cool. But I was just not impressed.
So, do you have any more negatives or positives or anything?
I don't know. Let's just give it our out of 17 rating. What would you give it?
13.5 out of 17.
Give it like a 10 out of 17. I just wasn't impressed.
That's harsh.
It is harsh. Like I said, there were things I liked. The first 15 minutes were great. The family dynamic, great. Yelena, great. Music, great. Prison scene, great. Acting, great. and not much else. I thought it was extremely average.
I like this movie. I've said that already. I'm fine with average, but this is a weird. I'm fine with movies in the future being average, but there are certain movies that can't be, and this was one of them because people have been wanting this for years, and it's been such a mystery of her past, and then it's average. Do you think this movie was worth? Do you think this movie was worth the 2-year hype wait?
Nah.
It was supposed to come out like late 2019 or early 2020, right?
Nah. Not worth it at all. That's us. That's our opinion on Black Widow. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll try not to say that to you again because I know it's kind of annoying and you're probably more likely to not comment, and to not subscribe if I tell you to like, comment, subscribe. So, yeah, peace. Bye.
Don't forget to check out the extended version of this conversation on our podcast, which will be in the description, maybe in the comments, but you can find it wherever you pod your casts. I can't believe I just said that. But yeah, be sure to check that out because this conversation had to be cut down a lot to fit into this YouTube format. We ranted for a long time. So be sure to check that out if you're interested in any more of our thoughts. Bye.